Hey, it's Dana with Safe House Animal Rescue. I hope this is working properly because my computer has been a little weird with trying to set this up to get started. Um, it's going on 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, so I hope everybody is up and awake to start their day. I know a lot of people are either just getting ready for work or on their way to work or already at work. So I don't know how many people are going to see this this morning to join me, but hopefully a lot of you guys see this at some point soon. This is a video that I've been going back and forth about whether to even make for the last several months, um, just because of what's going on in my personal life. And um, as far as personal stuff, I try to be fairly private, and I kind of try to walk that line between rescue and personal life. But when you're running a rescue, that's a very hard line to kind of keep drawn in the sand. Rescue becomes your entire life. Um, that being said, there's still a lot going on in my personal life that makes trying to manage the rescue on top of it a little bit difficult as well. So, um, this video, I just want to start off by saying is there's a lot that I want to say, and there's a lot that I want to kind of put out there and explain. This is not meant to be like a poor me or try to get sympathy or anything like that. It's more hopefully to gain some understanding and patience with people. Right now, I'm sure most of you know there is a rescue crisis going on. I see it all day, every day on social media. Other rescues and shelters posting for help. Everybody's overrun. Everybody's struggling. The surrender rates are through the roof, and the adoption rates have plummeted. So there are way more animals coming into shelters and rescues, way more people reaching out for help with animals they can no longer take care of, animals that they've found, animals that have been displaced due to a death in the family. Um, it's a constant battle, and there's just not enough people stepping up to foster, people stepping up to help. There's not enough resources to go around. Money is slim for everybody. Everybody is struggling. When people reach out to rescue because they can no longer afford their pet, the rescue doesn't necessarily have the means to afford that pet either, but we do what we can. I actually made a whole list of points that I wanted to make sure I covered because, again, this has been something that I've been debating, going back and forth with, making this video and kind of putting everything out there for a long time. And it sucks that it comes right on the cusp of us just reopening intake. We had to close intake, as many of you know, for the first half of the year because we kind of got ourselves into such debt over Zeke's case, and that was heartbreaking. And we tried so hard to save him, and in the end, we just couldn't. And we owed so much money to multiple vets, and it took us a very long time to pay that off, and a lot of fundraising, a lot of work went into that. Um, so we're just on the cusp of having reopened intake, and now I have to make a post that, due to my personal life, things have just gotten a little bit too chaotic. And I just want to share that and kind of be completely transparent. This video is really more for the sake of transparency. So a lot of our closer supporters have been aware, but my husband, Eric, who is also the vice president of Safe House, has been battling a very rare genetic condition that has left him debilitated half the time. He has not been able to um, help out with things with the rescue. He's been in and out of the hospital. He actually just got out of the hospital for the third time this past month. He hasn't been able to work in a year. Um, and one of the things that's so frustrating about that is, rescue's already a full-time job, but on top of that, I'm working two jobs to pay the bills because Eric has been sick and he's been in and out of the hospital. He can't work. He can't contribute. And that is completely out of his control, and he has felt completely helpless because he can't assist, and I've felt completely helpless because I feel like with everything on my plate I can't be there for him the way I wish that I could. And um, it's been a real struggle because I'm trying to work enough hours to support the household and to support him, while at the same time I've needed to take time off of work for rescue events, and trying to manage that burden of trying to raise enough money in doing events and trying to keep the donations coming in, um, so that we can keep the rescue sustained, but at the same time needing to focus on trying to pick up shifts at work and pay our own bills and pay hospital bills and manage appointments. He's had several specialist appointments and again hospital stays. Half the time when he's in the hospital I don't even have the time to get over there to visit him, because I'm running back and forth between the animals and vet visits and work shifts and trying to plan events. And it's just been incredibly, incredibly stressful and chaotic, and I'm just stretched way too thin at this point. Um, so, what I wanted to do, and for the sake of transparency, I wanted to come on here and kind of explain that for right now, we have a couple more things in the works as far as rescue events coming up, and I do want to put all that out there. I will be posting as much as I can on social media, but social media in and of itself is another full-time job, and trying to keep up with that and post pictures and videos and the mental capacity that is required to try to write something new and post something cute regularly. Social media is our biggest platform to get our name out there, to get our animals out there, to get people to know who we are, what we're doing, to connect with supporters and donors. And it's just a lot for me to try to keep up with on top of everything else. So I kind of wanted to also put everything out there in one fell swoop. Like I said, I wrote a whole bunch of notes of things that I wanted to put out there, and hopefully you guys will see this and kind of mark your calendars and keep note. Um, Things that we do have in the works right now are we are at the West Milford Farmers Market every other Wednesday through the summer season, and I believe that goes through October. So we'll be there every other Wednesday. We will be there tomorrow, and then every other Wednesday through the rest of the season. We have Hamburg Day that we will be a vendor at. That is Sunday, August 24th. We did register to be a vendor at the Vernon Street Fair Saturday, September 13th. And we do have an adoption event in the works potentially for September 28th. That's something that we are working on. It is not definite. Details will be posted once we get that squared away. Um, but in the meantime, beyond those events and those things that we have going on, um, after September, I, as of right now, think that I need to take a step back a little bit and focus on Eric and focus on the animals we currently have in our care and focus on picking up shifts at work and trying to pay my own bills and being there for him for his appointments and trying to get appointments with specialists. Things are just very stressful and chaotic right now, and I'm stretched too thin, and there aren't enough hours in the day. And to be honest, even if I can carve out a little bit of time in the day, there are days that I don't even want to get out of bed during that time. It's exhausting, and I've been fighting burnout for a really long time at this point. Um, all that being said, I do want to stop and take a moment to say that we are incredibly grateful for all of the supporters and donors and adopters and fosters that we do have. You know, we have been struggling greatly, but we also have an amazing support system. You know, we wouldn't have even been able to do what we have done so far with the rescue, with the last 5 years, if it wasn't for those of you that do donate regularly and do come out to our events and support us and share our posts on social media and Those of you who are fostering for us and have agreed to take in animals, are volunteers that have come out and helped with events. We couldn't have done what we have done without you guys. I also want to take a moment to share how grateful I am for our personal support system, my mother and Eric's parents, and my stepfather. Our parents have been amazing through all of this. My mother has been coming up from Delaware. Many of you have met her at some of our rescue events. She's been coming from Delaware and sleeping on our pull-out couch to help me with even just general household things, taking care of the animals. We have 7 animals currently in our own house that are fosters. Only 1 cat is our own personal cat. The rest of them are all fosters that we've been caring for. My mother has helped me care for them when I'm running back and forth to work, when Eric's in the hospital. She has helped with general house cleaning because I cannot keep up with the household. If you can see from behind me the amount of boxes we have, this is nothing. Um, she's helped me with housekeeping. She's helped me with food shopping. Eric's parents have been amazing with driving him back and forth to the hospital. His mother has been spending time with him in the hospital when I can't be there, making phone calls for insurance battles and trying to get appointments and getting records sent to the right people. The human healthcare system is a mess, and that is a whole other ball game and other story. But needless to say, that's its own full-time job at this point. It's just been impossible to keep up with everything. And if we didn't have the support system that we have, if we didn't have our parents rooting for us and in our corners and picking up the slack, I really don't know how we would have gotten things done the way we have. Some of the last few rescue events that we've even had they happened strictly because my mother came up and helped and because Eric's parents were helping to take care of him. So otherwise I wouldn't have even been able to make that happen. So thank you to our parents, and I just want you guys to know we are very grateful for the support system that we do have. We're not looking for pity or sympathy. We just want some patience and understanding. We are doing the best we can to keep this rescue afloat, but after the events that we currently have scheduled, I cannot commit to anything for the rest of the year as of right now, unless something changes. If his health starts to improve, if we start to get him on the right track, if, we can't make any promises right now. Things are just stretched way too thin, and we're doing the best we can. Now, that's not to say that we aren't going to still be desperate for donations and support. Even though we don't have major events scheduled and planned and in the works, we still have several animals that we're caring for on a daily basis. We have the 7 animals in our own home. We have several fosters. We have our Seniors for Seniors foster program. We have a lot of animals that we're feeding every day, that we need cat litter for, that we have vet appointments for. Today alone, Alina, one of the kitties that is up for adoption, she was just dropped off at Skyland's Primary Pet Care this morning. She's getting a dental done. Griffin, our 14-week-old kitten who is in foster care, also has an appointment today for his next kitten vaccines. Both of those guys are up for adoption. Our boy Grizzly, who is more of a hospice situation right now, we're treating him with steroids for possible lymphoma versus like an irritable bowel disease. He's going to need follow-up blood work, continue on medications, things like that. Like, that's going to add up. We still have, we have all of our annual exams coming up for our longtime fosters, Angel, Crash and Clover, the rabbit, the bonded brother-sister rabbit pair, who are still up for adoption. They're due for their annual in September, so they're going to need vetting. So we have tons of vetting and tons of needs financially, and it sucks because I can't commit to continue booking events. So, we are going to still need donations. We are going to still need assistance, but, um, you know, we're hoping that maybe some people will see this and step up. And if anyone has ideas on fundraising events, if you guys wanted to join our team, join our team of volunteers, and if you enjoy event planning, please feel free to reach out to us to say, hey, you have an idea, you want to plan an event. We are happy to give you whatever information you need, whatever supplies you need. We will meet you to give you, merchandise and flyers, whatever you need to plan an event. If we are able to assist, Eric is always ready to help out when he can. He just physically is not in a position that he can commit to things because his health is so unpredictable right now. And he'll have a couple days where he's feeling great, and then a couple days later, we're back in the hospital because he's gravely ill. And it's gotten to a very scary point, and sorry, getting emotional. Um, we're doing the best we can to hold it together, and um, there have been a lot of times over the last several months when I've had to toy with the idea of taking a step back completely from the rescue, and I don't want to do that. This rescue is my life. I spent years planning this, saving for this, trying to get this off the ground. The animals that we've helped, that we've saved, that we've placed in homes, I don't want to give any of that up for the world, but at the same time, there's only so much that I can do with everything else going on. So we do need help. We do need assistance. Um, as far as what I said before, we do have those few events in the works through September, and then after that, um, if we are able to coordinate things, obviously we will be posting it on our social media and keeping everybody updated. But I just cannot commit to anything. The biggest thing we'll have going for the winter season is our 12 Rescues of Christmas. I do still plan to try to keep that going. That is our big donation drive that we've been doing every year since we got started. Um, that is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's, when we can't, we're such a small organization with such limited resources, and when we can't do things that I wish we could, we can at least do this donation drive to try to help and give back and assist other rescues that we know are able to do more even, but are also struggling. Um, like I said earlier in the post, there's a huge rescue crisis going on right now. Every rescue is struggling. Everybody's begging for donations and fosters. There's more animals than we know what to do with out here. There's more need for vetting and supplies than we can bring the funds in. Money's flying out faster than it's coming in all around. Adoption rates are down and surrender rates are up astronomically, and it's just gotten absolutely out of control. And there's no reason that our organization is any more special or more important than any other organization that's out there. Everybody is fighting this uphill battle, and there's only so much we can do, but that's also why we do so appreciate those of you that have been following us and supporting us from the beginning, those of you that come out to all of our events and donate every single time we make a Facebook fundraiser. We see you. I know who you are. We see the same names a lot of times popping up with every fundraiser. We know who it is that's purchasing merchandise and coming to visit us at our events. And we so appreciate you because we couldn't do it without you. Um, but it's just getting to a point where, for my family, I'm going to need to take a little bit of a step back. I have to be there for Eric as much as I can. And I just have been unable to do what I wish I could for him because I'm trying to be there for the animals. I'm trying to be there for the public. I'm trying to keep up with social media. I'm trying to keep up with the animals in our care and our fosters and make sure that I'm posting their foster animals so that their animals don't get left behind. And um, it's a lot. Um, Sorry, I'm just going to take a moment to review my notes here because, like I said, there's a lot that I wanted to say and that I wanted to address, and um, I knew I was going to forget something if I didn't write everything down. So, um, just to kind of go back for a moment about our bills coming up. In addition to the vetting that I mentioned before, that we do have Alina getting her dental and Griffin going for his kitten shots, and Grizzly has a hospice case. Um, we also still have an outstanding bill to Ordell from when Griffin was first brought in. I think we still owe like $4,000 on top of our upcoming vet bills, on top of all the annuals for our long time fosters. Um, and we also have a huge insurance bill that's coming up that we're going to have to pay. That's something else that I don't know that people necessarily think of, that unfortunately we do have, as a rescue organization, we have to be insured. We are dealing with animals in the public, and we got to make sure that we're covered. And when we do these events and everything, we have to be insured. So we have a huge insurance bill coming up. I believe that's October, and we're at the point right now that if we can't raise enough funds to cover all of our vetting and the insurance, I'm going to have to pay the insurance out of pocket, which I'm happy to do. I don't want anyone to think that I am complaining about this. I started this rescue knowing that I was going to be putting in more money than we'd ever see in donations. But at the same time, with everything going on, with me trying to work two jobs to pay hospital bills and doctor bills, and just pay our own mortgage and our own personal bills, which I'm sure everybody understands because everybody is struggling right now. On top of all that, to have another, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000 bill that's going to hit us that I'm not going to be able to cover through rescue donations, um, that's going to be another huge hit. And that's going to be another thing that I'm going to have to pick up more shifts at work at some point for. And it's such a crazy thing to try to balance because there's not enough time in the week. On one hand, I'm like, well, I got to take time off of work so I can do an event for the rescue to raise money. But then it's like, well, but I have to find time to pick up more shifts because I don't have enough money in my bank account to cover our bills, and I got to pay the mortgage, and I got to pay utilities and whatever. And, oh, here's another hospital bill, and here's another insurance bill or whatever. It's been a full-time battle on every front, and it's just more than one person can handle. That's why they say it takes a village and it takes a community. And I guess you could say this is me reaching out to our community. I really wanted to do this video more for transparency purposes, to explain why, even though we just reopened intake, I'm back in the position to say I'm going to have to take a step back a little bit. Um, that's not to say that we absolutely will not be taking in animals if we can manage it, if we can figure out foster situations, if we can figure out funding. Um, we want to. We want to do it. We want to help. It's killing us that we are in this position, that we can't do more, that we aren't able to get these animals placed so that we can turn around and take more in. You know, a lot of the animals we've specialized with are special needs or seniors, and nobody's adopting those guys. Everybody wants kittens and puppies, and they're turning around and surrendering the seniors and the special needs, but they're adopting puppies and kittens, and we can't compete with that. We have these older guys, and they're so loving, and they're just as deserving as a home of their own. And if they never get adopted, they stay with us. That's the deal. And we provide for them. And that's also why we started our Seniors for Seniors program. That's another big thing. We need to build that up. We need to get people to share about that. If you know anybody who might be interested in our Seniors for Seniors program, we are trying to get these animals into homes of their own where they can get more one-on-one attention and more love and affection than we can give when we have 7 animals to care for and going back and forth between work and the hospital. There's just not enough of me to go around. And it's really, I'm stretched way too thin right now. I've been fighting burnout for a really long time. Um, and we're doing what we can. Um, Another thing that I just want to remind everybody of is there is the animal rescue site challenge that's going on. It's the Back to the Rescue Shelter Challenge. We've posted about it before with the link. You can vote daily for that and vote for us daily. I believe the challenge is ending. Sorry, looking at my notes. August 27th. The challenge ends August 27th. Please go on there, vote for us daily. Tell your friends, invite friends and family. That's another thing that would be a huge deal to get some money from that. If we could win anything, I think um, there's smaller prizes as well as the big prize. I don't know all of the specific details. You can read all about that on the animal rescue site. It's literally called the animalrescuesite.com or .org. So if you go on there, you'll see all of the information. You can search for us on there. I will also post the link for that in the comments for this video, so you guys can just click on that and vote for us, and then save the link and click on it daily through the 27th. If if you've stayed with me through to this point, thank you. I know I'm rambling. I know there's a lot going on and a lot that I wanted to share. I just wanted to try to be completely transparent and just let everybody know, why I haven't been as active on social media as I would like, and B, why it's going to kind of go a little quieter over the next couple months as well. I really have struggled with this decision, but I am going to need to take a step back to some degree so I can focus on my family and work. We are not shutting down the rescue by any means. We are not giving up. We are not, we're not getting rid of the animals we have or anything like that. Nothing crazy. It's just we need help. And again, if anybody has ideas for fundraising and wants to do a fundraiser, I will tell you in advance, we would appreciate that. We would be so grateful. We will give you whatever you need, merchandise, flyers, anything to host it. If we are able to be present ourselves, we would absolutely do that. For me, it really is going to depend on my work schedule. For Eric, it depends on his health. He wants to be involved. He wants to be a part of this, and he has unfortunately spent so much of his so many of our events, he has spent so many of our events in the hospital, and he has not been able to be present for them because of that. And it's just been really frustrating for him, really frustrating for me. We're doing the best we can, but we're limited. There's only so much we can do. So if you want to help, if you've stayed with me this far with this video, thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sitting here with me, listening to me rant and rave. We appreciate all of our supporters and our donors. We will continue to need support and donors. We need to pay our vet bills. We need to pay for the insurance. We need to get supplies. We are constantly in need, and there's just not enough to go around. There's not enough resources to go around. So if you want to help, if you can donate, that would be awesome. If you have the time to plan an event, that would be amazing. If you can share, share social media, get the word out there, tell people about our Seniors for Seniors program, tell people about the animals that we have up for adoption. We need to spread the word. We need to get assistance. But again, after September, unless things change on our personal front, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a step back, and I'm not going to be able to plan any more events through the rest of the year other than our 12 Rescues of Christmas donation drive. That's going to have to be the one thing that I kind of donate my time to outside of work and all of that. But obviously, if anything changes, we will be posting about it. And if anybody is able to step up and do event planning, we will post about it. It's just, as of right now, the what we have in the works is for now gonna have to stay the last of the things that we plan for right now, because I don't have the energy or the time to keep up at this rate. I can't do it. I'm exhausted. I'm burning out, and to not have to stop doing rescue, I just need to take a step back and focus on who we do have in our care and what we have going on, and focus on my family and getting Eric well and getting back to a point where we can go back full force and we can focus more. Um, so I think I've covered everything. I hope I've covered everything. Like I said, I had a whole book of notes that I made in preparation for this, just because I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. I wanted to be completely honest and upfront and let everybody know what's going on. I wanted people to understand why A, our social media has not been as active as I would like it to be, and B, why it may seem like it's going more silent in the next several months. I just can't keep up with it. So I am going to be doing what I can. Um, and, thank you in advance to everybody who has watched this, who will share this, who will respond to it in whatever way. We know we have some amazing supporters out there who have always come to our aid in the past. And, um, I don't expect anything less. I know that you guys are amazing, and we wouldn't have made it this far without you. So for that, thank you. And for whatever support we get in the future, thank you. But really, we're just looking for a little bit of patience and understanding right now, and assistance if it's out there. And if it's not out there, because we also know that everybody has a battle that they're fighting, just be kind to one another. Extend that patience and understanding to your community and to other rescues and shelters. And if you can help and assist and support, great. If you can't, because you're stretched too thin and you're trying to pay your bills and you don't have the time to volunteer or the money to donate, we get it. Everybody's struggling right now. It's an economic crisis. It's a rescue crisis. We're all doing the best we can. So please just extend that kindness to those around you, knowing that we're all fighting a battle that nobody knows anything about. Um, but that's it. Again, thank you guys for spending this time with me and for listening to me rant and rave. And um, I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't really know how to end something like this, since I've just been kind of going with it. But thank you guys, and be kind to each other.